Hey, yo, what's up, you? Let's reverse. Hey, yo, what's up, DYM? It's the one and only head captain. Don't you know it's murder? But I don't do murders. They do. Today we're gonna be reacting to teen killer forced to tell mom about his crimes. I ain't gonna lie, that's insane. I know that gotta be the hardest thing to ever say. To tell your mom about your crimes. He probably committed multiple crimes. Hey, I don't know. I don't know, bro. I have no idea. I don't know. We about to see into this video. Grab you a cup of water and let's get into it. Hold on. Do I gotta turn this down? Turn this down a little bit.
Is she okay?
Do you see where she's hit at?
No, it's on the side of her head. They're saying she's pregnant too.
She pregnant? And she passed away? Oh no.
This woman was just informed that her daughter, Tiara Harris, was shot in a gang-related incident and is in critical condition.
They just were shooting, and the blood just started dripping from her head, like shooting them under the ambulance. Like, I can't even talk right now, bro.
Her boyfriend rushed her to the hospital, but sadly...
And she was... That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Wait, so her boyfriend... I'm confused. Like, why was she in the car, though? Why was she with... Was her boyfriend in the car? I don't know.
It was already too late. And the worst part, Tiara had nothing to do with the shootout. She was an innocent bystander. A simple mix-up left an innocent, pregnant mother of two dead, her children now motherless, and her family absolutely heartbroken.
No.
The police now face a grueling investigation. However, with everyone involved supposedly being gang members, catching the killers would prove to be much harder than anything they'd done before.
I feel bad.
We've been in touch with Yolanda, the mother featured in this video, and are proud to share that half of the video's profits will be donated to the Akron-based charity First Glance Student Center.
Shout out to them, bro.
At 7:29 p.m. on April 14th, Akron Police Department would receive multiple calls reporting dozens of gunshots being fired out of 1492 Rockaway Street. Witnesses would describe what seemed like a gang-related shooting with multiple cars speeding away from the scene, one being a silver four-door Chevy. Police managed to quickly track down the Chevy, following it as the driver sped across back roads in Akron. However, the Chevy wasn't actually running from the cops. It instead would pull over somewhere that concerned the cops even more. The hospital.
Oh! Somebody got hit?
There's someone in the car still.
Yep.
Hey, hold up. 580.
They tracked that car down immediately.
Go ahead and shut the car off. Shut the car off. Shut the car off here. Go ahead and put your hands on top of your head, all right?
Oh yeah, you know he was a part of that. We already know he got the ski mask and everything. You know he's a killer, bro. That is a full-on YN. He got a Chevy and a black ski mask, and he was on the run. It's three things. He went to the hospital, yeah. But hey, after the hospital, he was gonna get back. That I guarantee you that.
Hands on top of your head.
Yeah,
Step
we
out.
got
Step
him.
out.
Lock him up. Yeah.
We have someone checking High Street.
Where that Glock at? We know we got
Here,
it.
step back here to the back of the car. Go ahead and put your hands behind your back.
With the incident being reported as a gang-related shootout, police would assume the man driving the Chevy to be a gang member, meaning he would be
Obviously.
very unlikely to talk to them. So
You know
instead, they decide to stop him in the back of a patrol car for later interrogation. As this was going on,
Bro, he's
dozens of
showing no
additional
facial
911 calls
expression.
would ring in, witnesses would arrive at the Akron Police Department to give their testimonies, and more cars would arrive at the hospital. Most importantly, though, 4 miles away, a young woman would be placed in an ambulance under critical condition with a bullet wound to her head.
No.
Turns out all of this would be connected to a large group of reckless shooters.
These are all
It's at this
different
point
presets of
that we need to
YNs.
step in. This is one of the most complex and mysterious cases we've ever covered. So we need to break down some details
Yeah,
first
let's-
in order for you to
let's see
fully
what- let's
understand the
see what's
case
going on.
itself and how well the police handled every single step of solving it. At 7:22 p.m., a car arrived at 1492 Rockaway Street carrying a number of people who started hanging out with some friends on the side of the road. This group included Javier Small, Lanier Worthy, and Jonte Smith. Everything seemed fine until 7:29 p.m. A black vehicle reversed into the street carrying Tiara Harris and her boyfriend George. Her boyfriend recognized some of the people on the sidewalk and wanted to back up and say hi to them. At that very moment, on the other end of the street, 3 men emerged from an unrelated vehicle and started firing bullets.
Oh! They just started busting shots?
These men were Zaire Saunders, 17-year-old Anthony Whitaker, and Darion Rackley.
So they was waiting on them.
The gang BBM, a notoriously violent gang active in Akron at the time. There was also the driver.
Big black men? I hope that's not the name. I genuinely hope that's not the name. I hope that's really not the name. BBM. Big black men.
Of the car, Jeremiah Williams. Their shots scattered the group on the sidewalk, with everyone running for cover. In the panic, Jonte and Javier drew their guns and began to shoot back. Bullets went back and forth,
so how is
and
the
everyone
girl?
went into a panic as they realized their lives were at risk and a bullet could strike them at any moment. Seconds later, the dust settled, and the BBM members Zaire, Antonil, and Darion fled the scene. However, a grueling silence would ring throughout the street as Tiara's boyfriend, George, realized Tiara was the sole victim of the shooting. With BBM splitting up and running in different directions, George flooring it to the hospital, and everyone on the sidewalk either heading inside or preparing to head to the hospital too, cops would begin the grueling task of figuring out what just happened, and who ultimately was the one that fired the killing shot. Now that you understand exactly what happened, we can join the police as they try to figure out what just went down and how to solve the developing mystery. Remember that all the cops have received at this point is a phone call alerting them to the shooting and a description of the silver Chevy they've just pulled a gang member from.
There's another victim that's at we don't know where that victim's going to go. There's a possibility that victim may be deceased.
Yeah, they got shot. Okay. Someone's got to go check, probably.
Two of the officers ran over to the front of the hospital and discovered Javier Small and his girlfriend in complete distress.
Wait, wasn't he a part of it?
He can't go into that room.
Because you gotta go to get checked out. Hang tight.
As it turns out, another girl was also hit in the shooting.
No!
That being this man's girlfriend. Luckily, she was only shot in the leg, but he was still extremely distraught and horrified about the whole incident.
Wasn't he a part of it?
I gotta go to the house with my girl, bro.
We'll get you. I'll come back. I'll tell you after.
Yeah, he got. Actually, I ain't gonna say he gotta chill. I don't even know how that's gonna be. He loved that girl. He loved that girl.
Despite how distraught this guy is, he was a passenger in the Chevy, which they just found multiple firearms inside of. So police promptly arrested him.
Hey, Poppy, we'll take him over here.
Yeah, I was just about to say he was just a part of it.
Across town, however, there's someone in a much worse position. Tiara Harris, the passenger in the black car.
Can I open that up?
They're saying she's pregnant too. How pregnant is she? How far along? 2 weeks pregnant. Okay. 2 weeks. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
44, there is a firearm underneath the muscle.
Am I allowed to ride in the car with her though to the hospital?
Not right now. I'm sorry, man.
Bro, Yanni just got shot. I mean, T just got shot. Bro, just in the car, just driving down the street, and Kenmore driving from over there, and they just was shooting. None of the glass broke, but she wasn't like moving or talking. So I just brought her, and the blood just started dripping from her head. Like, bro, we see in the hospital. She's in the ambulance. Like, I can't even talk right now, bro.
Tiara was immediately rushed to the local hospital, and her boyfriend George was brought in for questioning. He wasn't a lead suspect, but police did find it odd that he just happened to arrive at the site of a violent shooting right as it all went down. He would claim to be innocent and actually provide a detailed description of everything that went down that night.
You turned off here, so
no, boom, no, I didn't. I came this way, and I said, "What y'all got? Like, what y'all got going on over here?" Like, I'm like basically saying y'all good.
Right.
As soon as I said that, somebody from down here got to just shooting a gun that just kept shooting. That's all I know. But I didn't hear nobody or nothing like that.
So you're right there, and then you heard that. How many shots did you hear?
Man, I can't even recall. It was a lot. And then as soon as I
So you were facing this way?
No.
You literally back all the way on.
Say I'm coming down here in this Rockaway. Like, this would be Rockaway.
Okay.
Now I backed up.
Oh, so you backed, so the back of your car was facing that way?
And I'm like, is y'all? I'm like, what y'all got going on? Like, I look out just like that.
Like out the window?
Like, as soon as I even it should have been me. Like, you feel me? Because I'm the one that looked straight out the window. Like, are y'all all right? Y'all good? Type stuff.
The cops asked him why he was even there in the first place, to which he just said he knew a couple of people on the street and that he had absolutely no involvement in the shooting. He's claiming that when he peeked out the window, his friends mistook him for the shooter and began to fire bullet after bullet directly at his vehicle. According to him, it wasn't an accident, but a misunderstanding, making the whole situation even more tragic.
So, okay, I can see why they shot.
They were a little clearer on the whole situation. But they'd made no progress into actually solving the case or tracking down the real perpetrators. That was until they returned to the scene and spoke to a number of witnesses who had watched the entire event take place.
It was two African Americans.
Where were they running?
Young kids. They come from back there.
We know what you wanted to say. We know what you wanted to say. We already know what you wanted to say. Of course, it's too African. You could have said two. You know, two black African Americans. Of course.
They're across his backyard next door and out the driveway.
They hopped the fence.
He had a face mask on and had a 9mm. And then the other one had a semi-automatic rifle.
No!
And they were
had
in the corner of the house running this way, and they both jumped the fence.
Bro had an AR. AR is crazy. You want to get somebody going.
He jumped the fence. He dropped the semi-automatic rifle at the driveway.
I was just out back cutting some stuff, and all I heard was just a barrage of bullets, fully auto. It wasn't 3-round burst, 4-round. It was fully auto.
Coming off fast.
Oh yeah, hot and loud.
That was the AR.
And then I saw two guys when I was out back. I could see through the backyards, through the fence. I saw a silhouette of two guys running up towards that street, returning single shots as they were running away.
There's casings up here. Yeah.
I got more.
Okay.
How many did you hear? You think?
It was like 30.
Let that loose, bro.
But this happened over there all the time.
That is sick, bro. I don't know how
I
people
heard
can
a lot
murder
of gunfire, but when I went out, when I first heard it, I thought it was a backfire because I saw this car sitting over here where all the cones are. And he had his
There's too
lights
many
on.
witnesses.
So I thought he was working on a car and it backfired real bad. Then I saw them loading people into cars to take them to the hospital, and I knew it wasn't, because this has happened so many times before. I don't know what we're supposed to do.
Right.
We can't go outside, nothing.
So many
Even
times
with all
it's
this
crazy.
new information, though, the cops are only slightly closer to figuring out what happened. They were now at least able to confirm that one group of shooters rolled up and started the exchange before another responded, causing a huge exchange of bullets throughout the neighborhood. But they still had two major questions. Who were the shooters, and how was Tiara involved?
That's what I want to
The
see.
cops had just spotted another witness that might be able to answer their questions. A woman who was actually on the street the moment the bullets started flying.
She clutched.
You don't live here? I'm not even from here. Oh, I was visiting. So who owns the house?
Anitra Johnson.
She is okay.
She was out to eat when I called her.
Okay. Everyone's okay though, right? The kids.
The kids, yes.
Yeah.
The kids are okay. I got them in the back watching TV.
Okay.
There was another girl outside. I think she got shot in the thigh or the leg. I think they took her probably to the hospital.
Okay.
She definitely got hit.
Okay. So what did you see?
I'm sitting outside. To be honest, we all family. So we're all outside prayer wrapping, like act like we hit each other and stuff. Next thing I know, I just heard these gunshots. I'm like, all right, was that a BB gun? Come through shooting.
Yeah.
And it was like pow, 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 and came through again. So I'm running up, I didn't even know where the gunshots was coming from. I'm running up, trying to grab the kids. They came through twice.
Okay. Did the house get hit at all?
I mean, I don't even fuck. Is that a bullet hole right here? I don't know. I was really just trying to grab the kids.
And you said so what? They got out of a car.
They didn't even get out of the car.
Or they just started. They were hanging out.
They was hanging out shooting.
Okay. Did you see how many by chance? Three of them. Okay.
Oh yeah, she got
now
them.
It's
It was
starting
3.
to sound a
No
lot
more than that.
like a drive-by shooting. Notoriously one of the hardest types of crimes to solve, especially if the vehicle was stolen. The cops are starting to lose confidence that they'll ever find Tiara's killer, but then they decide to ask one simple question.
Ma'am, do those cameras work?
I believe so.
Okay.
She on her way home.
Oh, she is? Okay, perfect.
There were CCTV cameras on the property, and as soon as the
Gotcha.
homeowner got back, they'd have access to the footage. So in just a few hours, the cops were able to put together just enough footage to understand exactly what happened. Remember, we already know all of this, but for the police, this was huge. Now they had a detailed timeline of the entire incident, including at what time it went down, how many people were involved, and which vehicles the suspects used.
I ain't gonna lie,
This would be
you're good.
very useful in the coming interrogations in terms of verifying their suspects' claims and pressuring them to confess. Police finally had a solid piece of evidence.
Finally!
And right as their case had started to build some substance, their biggest lead yet would step out right in front of them.
Which
I have video of them carrying the girl that got shot.
I can put it on an SD card.
And that's not the same one that was at
She'll send her a link and then she
that
can just
was
upload it from there.
right after they took off.
Not only had they seen the entire thing go down, but as soon as they heard gunshots, they started recording. They managed to get this clear footage of a man getting into the same vehicle spotted at the shooting just minutes earlier.
Wait, what?
Now all they needed to do was track down the car using the visible license plate, and they'd have their first...
She got shot in 1080p. It might not be 4K, but it's at least 1080p. She got shot. She got the license plate and everything. She is a D1 recorder. I'm not gonna lie. I would have been shaking. I would have been trying to press that button. I'm like, yo, come on, bro. Just press the button and we can get these mugs in jail. But I don't know, bro. My phone would be acting stupid and stuff, bro. I would literally have to do this. I would have to take the back off that, press the button, zoom in, and then press record. That's doing too much.
lead suspect. But with that said, these kids were no strangers to running from the police, and the officers would begin the hunt to find these evil teens. While all of this was going on, police had another, perhaps more nerve-wracking situation to handle. Tiara had passed away, and her family had no idea.
No!
I'm currently not letting too many people in the hospital. Let's step over here and see where all these cruises are.
My car okay?
Where's your car at?
I'm right here because I didn't know.
Or this one?
Right here.
Sorry.
No.
Okay. What's your daughter's name? You're here for your daughter?
Tiara Harris.
Tiara Harris. Let's say have you stand right here next to the sign. We'll have someone go over to talk to you, okay? Take a deep breath.
Is she okay?
I don't know the names of who they are currently, miss.
Just listen to the cop's tone here. He knows just how bad things are looking for Tiara, and
I'm
he
about to
absolutely
cry,
doesn't want to break that news to her mother yet, especially when he sees just how emotional she's starting to get.
You could tell she was
Tiara's
a
autopsy showed a single bullet struck her in the head and remains there. While tragic, this information would allow police to identify the exact bullet type and then gun used to shoot Tiara.
It was right.
If they could find the owner of this gun,
back of the
they would be
head
able to
right
match it to
here.
the bullet, and justice could be served for Tiara and her family.
That's ridiculous.
Come here.
They got a bunch of people showing
That's
up.
my son and my nephew.
Okay, well, listen, they can't go in. It's going to be you.
Y'all go in the car. Go in the car.
They telling us to wait outside.
I know. I'm going in. Go in my car.
The entire family is in distress, with her mom shaking and doing everything she can to stay strong in front of her kids. It's truly a nightmare situation, and it only got worse from there. At around 8:30 p.m., they were informed that Tiara didn't make it. A bullet to the back of the head had ended her life, sending her family into complete grief and agony. Now, police knew that they absolutely had to catch the people that did this to Tiara, who risked letting down her and her entire family. At this point, police had 6 different suspects on the run, all tied to the shooting, and they would eventually manage to track down and get interrogations with all of them. Their start came in the form of a Facebook post by someone named Jeremiah Williams, described as a member of the BBM gang. Apparently, the post consisted of him bragging about being at the shooting and escaping without getting caught. By using his Facebook profile, they'd find his address and pick him up for interrogation. With Jeremiah also being a supposed gang
First of
member,
all, he is dumb.
too would prove to be
He's
extremely
dumb.
difficult to break. However, by using expert methods, police would actually get him to break completely, to the point where he actually started to cry.
You want some tissue? Yeah, that's true. How's it going, Jeremiah? Pretty good. Sorry for the wait, man. I'm Detective Smith. This is Detective Davis. Nice to
He
meet
just
you.
ruined his life off of a hit, bro. That's
All right,
crazy.
So the reason why we have you sitting here talking to us is we need you to think back to April. There's an incident that happened on Rockaway. You remember this? This young lady got shot. You remember hearing about that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so during our investigation, your name's been coming up. But do you know about where you were that day, if you can? Or
I was definitely at home.
Apparently, Jeremiah also has an alibi, and even gives multiple names over that'll attest he wasn't on Rockaway that night.
Bro.
You're at home. Yeah. Where was that at Amherst?
Amherst. This was right before my mom moved to Louisiana. My best friend, Rob, talked to her sister, the girl that died, her sister, Dayani or Diane or however you say her name. My best friend, Rob, was like in the kind of little...
Like dating?
Yeah, with her sister.
Okay.
And it was crazy. We got on Facebook and it was all over Facebook. Her sister had got killed and stuff. And my mom was like, ain't that the girl that came over here the other day? And we like, no, that was her little sister.
Bro just thought about all this.
We haven't talked to her and I don't talk to her at all for real, but.
So you were at your house on Amherst?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there anyone with you that day?
My mom.
What's your mom?
My mom's name is April.
Okay.
However, the detectives know this to be untrue. They know he was at the scene from the Facebook post he made. They know he did it, so they want to get a confession, or even better, some information that might help put more people in handcuffs. The thing is, they're initially going to find that a lot harder than they'd hope.
I have to ask, do you recognize this car?
Yeah, this was the car that was in that video. That's on Facebook.
So you remember it? Yeah. Have you ever been in this car?
No.
Do you know who drives this car or owns this car?
I don't know him by like name, but I know who he is. His name like Pa or something.
Pa?
That's what they call him.
Do you know, can you describe him?
His name is Pa. It's crazy.
I don't even really know what he
I'm not calling no bro name
Every time
Pa.
I've seen him with a ski mask on.
Okay.
Like I've never seen him outside of a ski mask.
Okay. All right.
We know why. What do you mean? We know exactly why you never seen him outside of a ski mask. He's on that timing 24/7.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, your past. Like, have you ever been in trouble or anything?
Yeah. I'm actually right now. I got probation.
So, like, just a weapons possession charge is all you got?
It's like carrying a concealed firearm in a motor vehicle.
Gotcha, yeah.
Jeremiah is making a conscious attempt to give as little information over as possible while still trying to seem cooperative. He's smart. He doesn't want to completely close himself off, as that'll make him seem guilty, but he also doesn't want to give up any vital information. The cops ask him who was there, where he was sitting in the car, even questions about the guns, but he refuses to speak, and he's starting to seriously frustrate the cops. But all this talk of courts and investigations doesn't seem to be getting them anywhere at all. So instead, they switch gears. They're going to be as direct as possible and give it to him straight. That's their last hope at getting him to crack.
What do your friends call you? Do you have a nickname or anything?
Joe.
We're just getting to know you, man.
Right.
Obviously, we can see that you're not a bad person. Just the vibes I'm getting.
Yeah, for sure.
But you're in here talking to us for a reason. And it comes back down to this incident. You being honest with us is what we'll be able to work with you. We know that you were there. And we also got your DNA in this car.
If I've been in that car, I would tell you guys I've been in that car. I don't have no reason to lie or no reason to put myself
Bro, just stop
You're
lying.
the driver, because we know you're the driver. Really what we're looking for is...
DNA don't prove falsely.
You're already being charged with the incident. You explaining your actions and what really went down is just going to help with your role in this. We know you didn't pull the trigger, but you not being honest with what went down is not going to help you. It's going to, the prosecutor and the judge and jury are going to look at someone who's not remorseful.
Drove over there and they started shooting.
So they told you to drive over to Rockaway?
Yeah.
Who was sitting where in the car?
In the front, and Zebo sitting behind me, and then Pa sitting on the door.
It worked. The cops actually got a name. It was a nickname, but cops could eventually tie this back to a man named Zaire Saunders, who would be interrogated later. This was huge.
His name's Zebo?
They'd actually gotten a gangster to tell on one of his partners. But they weren't done yet. They knew he still had more information, and they weren't going to stop putting on the pressure now.
I'm instantly snitching. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Who was in the car?
Instantly snitching.
I know you know Zebo.
What am I being prideful for?
Pa. You say you just know him by Pa.
We both
know
know
his real name? Okay. And the third person, you're saying how often have you seen him? Would you be able to identify that last person by a picture?
Jeremiah physically looks defeated. He's avoiding eye contact and is hunched over. He likely never saw himself giving up the names of his partners, but that's exactly where he found himself. The cops, however, are over the moon, even managing to get descriptions of the people he doesn't know the names of. They ask a few more questions before leaving him alone for a minute to prepare their next move. However, on their return, they didn't expect to see Jeremiah, a once tough and unbreakable gang member, to cry because of what he'd done.
But what you mean?
What'd you say his first name was what?
Darian.
Is this him? Do you want some tissue, man?
He crying?
I need a purple yes or no if that's him.
Yeah.
Aw, man. I just lost my dog. And you know we had to go and chase the bag. And we had to shoot that girl and aim back. But now we locked up, I wanna chase no bag. Telling you, bro. It's not worth it, bro.
If this is the first time you've seen a gang
never
member
worth
cry,
it. Gang
you're
violence is
certainly
never
not
worth
alone.
it, bro.
But it actually
It's
happened
never worth
again in the detective's very next interrogation.
This was not worth it at
While
all.
these cops were busy talking to Jeremiah, a breakthrough had been made outside of the interrogation room. Remember this footage recorded by a civilian witness earlier?
Yes, sir.
Well, after 5 days of investigation, they actually managed to track the car down, enabling them to take in another suspect, Antonil Whitaker. Police would quickly realize that Antonil might be even more important than Jeremiah as a suspect. He's a supposed member of the BBM gang, and believed Maya as a suspect. He's a
Lock him up. It's no talking to him. Lock him up. Look at him. I'm locking him up instantly, bro. Look at the evil. Don't y'all see the evilness? The the demon. You need to call him demon. Look at his face.
Supposed member of the BBM gang,
Bro got
and believed to
2K
be one of the
dreads on.
suspects that initiated the shootout. The thing is, he's just 17 years old. Since there's still some information even Jeremiah couldn't give them, they figured they might be able to scare him into giving up everything he knows. And their first idea is an unconventional, but possibly extremely effective method. A call home to mom.
Hello, Ma.
This is really, really serious now. You need to put yourself wherever you was and get to telling them what your part.
I ain't gonna lie to mom.
Because you can't take the blame for this, and this was not you. You shouldn't be sitting here. They know it's your car. You can't get out of that. You better than this.
Antonil doesn't even seem to feel like following his mother's advice. Despite the fact that they know it was his car, he's claiming that someone else was actually driving it that day. And even more unfortunately, he'd forgotten exactly who. Listen to his story and see if you believe it as much as the detectives do.
So you saying you were at home? No, wait, like the whole day? Someone took your car somehow, brought your car back, gave you the keys back or whatever, and then so you could take your sister home. That doesn't make sense, man. You know a jury, you know a judge. They're not. I'll be honest with you. I mean, what you're getting is not even a good statement. It's not even a good lie. That's why it'd probably be easier for you to tell the truth.
You see, about an hour after the shooting, Antonil was confirmed to have used his car to pick his sister up from an event, meaning it was clear that he was still in possession of it. But that didn't faze Antonil, and despite how many questions police asked him, he refused to give up anything.
How this works, you might already know this from TV, but I mean it's kind of accurate. We're going to compare your DNA to the DNA on the shell casings that we collected on scene. Is there any reason your DNA is going to be on there? Because if there is, you've got to explain that. You said no, or I don't know. Who got in the car with you at all? If you're saying your DNA is not on those shell casings, right? And you're saying you weren't driving, who did you let drive your car?
DNA prove everything, my boy.
But right now it looks like it's on you.
They're trying to force a confession out of him by telling him that if he'd been in physical contact with any of the evidence tied to the murder, they would find out and he would get sentenced. And they're not lying either. When you touch anything at all, you leave behind skin cells, sweat, small hairs, or even oils that can quickly be traced back to you. Meaning,
it's really
if
crazy,
Antonil had touched the car, the bullets when loading.
Bro, my DNA is all over this mouse. My DNA is all over this camera. My DNA all over the chair. My DNA is all over the clothes. My DNA is all over these stickers. My DNA is all over the hat. Bro, it's really crazy how DNA works. And once they find that, you're cooked.
His gun, or anything else related to the murder, police would find out. However, as of now, detectives haven't had the time to run these tests to confirm if his DNA was present, meaning they couldn't pressure him to a confession, and they'd have to wait until later. So in the meantime, they move their attention to the next suspect. Remember the man Jeremiah gave up to the cops back in his interrogation? That was Zaire Saunders. Once they had his name, they tracked him down and arrested him. And he would prove to be even more helpful than Antonil and Jeremiah combined.
Did you know of or hear about that young lady who got killed?
Yeah.
Did you know her?
No.
We don't think that she was the one meant to be heard. And I mean, based on what we're seeing. But unfortunately, she did get obviously hurt. Her family's hurt. Right. You know, when we did that search warrant, we got your phone.
Yes.
Okay. And we downloaded your phone. And your location is putting you on Rockaway that day. Nope. What happened that day, man?
I shot a pistol. You shot a pistol? Yes.
This seems like a breakthrough.
Straightforward.
He's just admitted to being a part of the shooting, and it seems that all the detectives' work has just paid off. but they're not quite there yet. Of the 3 shooters, 2 did indeed use pistols, but one of them was actually yielding the extremely dangerous automatic rifle that can be seen clear as day in this footage here. Instead of jumping this fence after the shooting, the man with the rifle fled directly down Rockaway Street, and that's the direction Zaire's phone shows him running. The good news is, that clears Zaire of being the man that killed Tiara. After all, she was killed with a very specific pistol round. But that does put him directly in the spotlight of being the man with the most dangerous weapon, and one that is directly lying to the cops right now. And they're not about to let him get away with that.
We have video of the incident. You're on camera shooting the rifle.
I was about to say,
Pistol that holds, you know, 2
he had the rifle, bro. There's no way. The 2 people with the pistol were skinny.
Does it have a stock on it? Like something kind of modified type thing?
No, it didn't have a stock on it. So describe it then. I'm getting on this rifle.
That single piece of information resulted in Zaire actually getting the highest sentence out of anybody involved in the case. Just the use of such a dangerous firearm actually increased his prison time by somewhere between 10 and 15
Bro,
years.
you don't just
but
get
he still
a
doesn't know
rifle
that yet.
and
He's
start
still under the
shooting?
guise that if he helps the detectives out, he might get a better deal. So not only did he tell them where
Those
to
are
find the rifle
dangerous,
he
bro.
used,
You
he also
never
gave up one of the
able to
most
use
vital
that stuff.
pieces of information that cops had received in the entire case.
The group BBM. I just know they call it BBM. For real. BBM. Yeah.
Zaire just told the cops the name of the gang that was involved. A huge piece of information that will help them track down every last individual that was part of this attack. Now the detectives have just one more final question.
Oh, yeah, he got them
that will
cooked.
hopefully put
They in
together
the
the
chamber,
final
they in a
pieces of the
box.
puzzle they're looking for.
You've been extremely helpful throughout this whole interview. And you're helping yourself out too. You gotta ask, whose idea was it?
I know for sure it wasn't mine. They just around. So we'll just say, yo, it's my dudes. But you got different dudes, and you got different, like, that's how they is. Well, like, they ain't say it right then and there. They said it on Facebook, like, but they was like, I knew they was talking about me. They just didn't say it directly to me, but I knew they was talking about me.
He just gave up the group chat where all of these shootings supposedly were planned. With this, police simply had to cross-reference the names in the group chat with the supposed shooters on the CCTV, and the names that had been mentioned in previous interrogations, giving them enough evidence to sentence all 6 of the shooters. But unfortunately, this wasn't the resolution they'd hoped for. After examining all the weapons confiscated, it would turn out that none of them were a match to the bullet found in Tiara's head, meaning they still couldn't tie any specific person to the actual murder. However, there is one puzzle piece we haven't told you about yet. The one that would solve this entire case. Watching the CCTV footage, it's clear that there is one man that directly shot at Tiara's vehicle. If you follow this man, dressed in all black, back through the CCTV, you can trace him all the way back to the driver's seat of this black truck. A black truck that, until now, the cops were completely unable to identify. But then, they received one final piece of footage from a witness, allowing them to track it back to the owner, 44-year-old mother, Kia Brown. Police realized they had to interview her year-old footage from a witness, allowing them to track it back to the owner, 44-year-old mother, Kia Brown. Police realized they had to interview her, knowing that whoever was driving Kia's black truck that day killed Tiara Harris.
Hey, how you doing, ma'am?
How are you?
Good. I'm Detective Smith. This is Detective Davis, Akron Police.
Hi.
Hey, we wanted to talk to you or whoever drives this truck, reference that incident that happened up the street. They were being shot at, and we're finally trying to catch up with them. Looked like a couple males. And have you heard about this?
I heard about what happened on the corner. This is my truck, but my son was driving.
It wasn't Kia, but her son driving the car that night. And after running his name, they'd find out he had ties to a rival gang of BBM. So the detectives had Kia call her son and hand over the phone to the officers.
I have some detectives here right now. The day that we were moving in, the incident that happened around the corner, they would like to speak with you. Do you have a moment? Can you go on break?
How you doing, man?
How you
Good. I'm Detective Smith. I'm with Detective Davis with me. Hey, what's your name before we get started, bud?
Lanier Worthy.
Lanier. All right,
Cook.
Lanier, how you doing, man?
Cook.
So
Bro,
listen,
trying to
man,
go to
I won't
work.
take too much of your time.
He
We
trying
were
to go to work
wondering
like
if
nothing
we
happened.
could talk with you and your mom maybe
Straight
in person
murder
at some
somebody.
point, and we wanted to talk to you about that incident that happened up the street. We know you're over there, so we were hoping you could help us. Actually, you're not in any trouble. We're actually hoping you could help us. Would there be a good day for you to?
This weekend,
Yeah, Sunday the 8th. Can we do it anytime after 2:30? Okay.
anytime after 2:30.
All right, man. We appreciate it. We'll see you at 3:30.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Bye.
He about to try to go to Bora Bora.
And just like that, they had an interview scheduled, and this was the final suspect at the scene that they hadn't yet spoken to. The man suspected to be the driver of the black truck and the man they think shot Tiara.
Dad, how you doing? What's up, man? Appreciate you talking with us. So, I mean, obviously you know why we're here, about that incident that happened up the street. So, we just wanted to know your perspective. That happened that day. What'd you see? That type of stuff.
Bro, he murdered
Run us
her.
through that day.
I was standing in the driveway on my phone. Then heard shots. I got down, ducked. Then when the shots stopped, I heard that, ran to the car.
When the shots started happening, you ran and got in the driver's seat, and then Teen got in your passenger seat. Right? Okay.
That was it. Lanier had just told them he was driving the black truck that day, confirming he was the man in all black that drove the truck and hopped in the Chevy. He was the man that fired the bullets. So they decided to ask him up front.
I'm about to ask you something, man. I'm about to ask you from your parents.
Cook.
I'm sorry, but
Cook.
I gotta ask.
Cook.
Did you shoot that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Even though he said no, police already had all the evidence they needed. The car tied to him, his ties to the rival gang, and finally the video of him shooting at Tiara's car. So they arrested him on the spot and brought him in for interrogation.
What's up, man? Lanier? Hey, come
Am I able to have a lawyer with me right now?
What's that?
Can I have a lawyer with me?
You can
right
do
now?
whatever you want, man. I'm not here to. Okay. Are you saying you want your lawyer? You don't want to talk?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But in the end, this wouldn't matter, as when they arrested and processed him, they managed to confiscate his gun. And after analyzing the forensics of the bullet inside of Tiara and Lanier's gun, it was a match. Lanier had fired the killing shot. After 5 months of investigation, all the puzzle pieces were finally in place. In total, 7 people were charged in this incident. Zaire Saunders was charged with involuntary manslaughter and 4 counts of felonious assault and was sentenced to 35 to 40 years.
Oh, he's good.
Antonio Whitaker and Jeremiah Williams got 20 to 24 years on similar charges, while the 4th assailant in this group, Darion Rackley, got 34 to 40 years. It was confirmed Antonil's DNA was in fact found on various bullet casings on Rockaway Street, despite his claims in the interrogation room. The next 2 to be sentenced were the ones who shot back at Zaire's group after being rolled up on. They were Javier Small and Jonte Smith, who were sentenced to 4 years and 2.5 years respectively. Lastly
Okay,
was
that's not
Lanier
that bad.
Worthy,
That's not that
Tiara's
bad, but still.
actual killer. However, as of
Years
this
is
video's
still crazy.
upload, he's still awaiting sentencing. Tiara and George were not involved in any of the gangs in the shootout and were found completely innocent. At long last, Tiara and her family could finally be at peace.
I don't think that's gonna, you know what I'm saying, make them at peace. He's still not bringing that person back. So R.I.P. Kiara, bro. Like, really. Like, R.I.P. Kiara Williams, bro. That's ridiculous. Like, it's never that serious. It's never that serious, bro. It's never that serious to pull up and kill a op. It's never that serious. And you just killed somebody innocent. Further ado, want y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. I love y'all, man. We out.